Right, welcome back everyone. I'm just gonna go into the integer variable in Unreal Engine 5. Just go over a brief explanation of how to use it. Okay. Um, so as you see, uh, the integer is broken down into two separate portions. You have the get for the integer and you have the set for the integer. All right. Now you can use them interchangeably uh, in your line of code, depending on what you're trying to do, or you can just use them independently. So the examples I have, I'm just going to use them independently. I'm going to start with set, okay? And what I'm going to do is when I click this button, event, all right, I'm going to just flip flop between values, all right? Now, when you're using set for integer, all right, pretty much bottom line is an integer is a I say it's just a variable that you have to assign a value to, a number value. Like you can't assign letters or words. It has to be specifically numbers and specifically numbers without decimals. So you can't do 99.5. Um, and like for this example, I'll show you. So if I clear that, and let's say I want to put a number value in this box, I'm going to do, let's say I'll do 99.5. Now watch what happens. It automatically switches it to just 99. All right. You can't do any decimal numbers when you're setting the value for an integer. Okay. Um, Let me go ahead. Let's just do it again. 100.5. Okay. It puts me back to 100 as a whole number. All right. It doesn't allow you to do halves or thirds or anything like that. All right. And so let me go ahead and plug this in here. And for those of you who don't know, flip flop is just a way to um, switch between, um, let's say, switch between events that you want to do. So when I press the button the first time, it's going to execute whatever's on line A. When I press it the second time, it's going to execute what's on line B. All right. But the point is, uh, using this variable, the integer variable, you can only put whole numbers and it can only be numbers without digits. Otherwise, it won't accept it. And there's a reason for this because, for example, if you want to make a timer that counts down from 100 to 0, it's not going to count down 100, 95.5, 90, 85.5, 80. It's not going to count down like that. It's going to count down, um, count down from 100 to, uh, well, it's not going to have the decimals in the actual countdown. Okay. But if you want to do like something like a math problem, that would go into using the floats, which I will get into in another lesson. All right. So for now, we're using the integers, it's just a whole number. All right, let's make this work effectively. So when I click this button, the first thing it's going to do, it's just going to do the math that I had it do, which is going to subtract 50. So I should get the value of 50. That's going to be the first time I click on it. Now, the second line is going to execute when I click the button again for the second time. And that's going to give me the value of the problem that I uh, coded into the line. Okay. So that should be 500. Boom. And then it goes back from the beginning. Line A, the value is 50 after doing the math. Goes to line B and gives me the value of line B after doing the math. Okay, and you can make this work any way you want. I'm just giving a brief example. All right, it will not allow you to put a number with a digit as its value when I allow you to assign that. Okay, now this is going to be pretty short and sweet. So now what I'm going to do, I have the get, all right, integer. Now, whenever you create a variable, there's an area where you can assign this value. As you see here, it says default value. You can set this value to anything you want and use it to, you know, per se, do a math problem or set up a timer, all right, to count down from a certain number. So, but anyway, I'm going to set the value here for this get integer. All right, I'll set it to, say, 50, right? So what I'm gonna, now the value of this integer, of this get integer is 50. So in other words, it will now be 50, and I want that to print onto the screen when I click the button. When I click the button, it's going to print the value, which is 50. All right, so let's do that. A little short and sweet. Okay. And it's printing the value that I assigned right down here. Okay. Real easy, real smooth. All right. And of course, there's many things you can do with integers. I will do my best to show you guys some of those things in future videos. Um, but as for now, I'll leave it there. Hope you got something from it.